What's up, everyone? What's up, Brian? How you doing?
Oh yeah, going well, going well.
I know that music.
It's famous music.
I know that voice too. That's a terrible, terrible voice. Is that coming from my end or yours? It's coming
There's
from
no music.
mine. I had some feedback going on. We've already got one comment, and I think it's actually 100% true. It says government regulations need to be cut in half by 2030, or else the world will end.
Yeah,
I think that's
absolutely.
100%.
It's like with the Extinction Rebellion. They're like, oh, the world's going to end in 12 years if you don't I don't know, hug a polar bear or something. And it's like, I don't think you really believe that, because if you really believed that, I think you'd do more than hold a sign on a street. No,
I feel like
if you genuinely believe that the world was going to end in 12 years' time and Scott Morrison was responsible, wouldn't you I don't know, uppercut him or something?
Well, like the Mortal Kombat heavy uppercut.
Yeah.
Transport him to another level. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like in Extinction Rebellion, they're like, hey, the world's going to end in 12 years, but if you listen to us, we can end it in 5.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of regulations and stupidness they that they yap on about. But I wanted to show you, speaking of the end of the world, I was like, I'm all for not complying and all that stuff, but sometimes you're a bit tired and you just want to do your shopping and stuff. So I bought a mask that I would be comfortable wearing. Maybe if I zoom out a bit, I can show you. This is my mask that I wear when I go to Woolworths.
Does it protect you?
100% protection.
Will it protect you from what the media now refers to as harmful, dodgy, super deadly vaping?
100%. You can vape inside one of these canisters and they won't even notice.
Yeah, it's the new craze within vaping. Just wear a fucking gas mask.
Yeah, 100%. How bad is Greg Hunt's form? Duty's an epic fail. A comment.
Pretty fucking bad. Oh, we got some stuff to say about Greg Hunt.
Yeah, don't say his name too quickly because it sounds derogatory.
Yeah, I mean, he is derogatory. Can someone be derogatory? I just he's derogatory to at least 500,000 people in the country.
Yeah. So what's he done now? What's the latest in vape news? In nicotine news. That sounds pretty cool. Nicotine news.
Yeah. In Nick news.
Nick news. Yeah.
In Nick news. Look, the latest that we've seen is that. Look, vapers will be aware of this. There was this big scaremongering campaign at the beginning of the week. Curtin University did a study into Australian-made vaping liquids, and they found that some of them contain trace elements of nicotine, which is terrifying because if you listen to health bureaucrats, nicotine is like the big, scary boogeyman that everyone should be afraid of, even though we know that nicotine is not the harmful chemical in cigarettes. It's, burning. It's essentially inhaling a bushfire that kind of fucks your lungs up. Nicotine just, kind of helps you concentrate on things and, makes life kind of fun. So they found trace elements. Now, I don't want to get too much into the data, but when you look at the trace elements, they're in concentrations that the human body can't even pick up. So it's kind of like if someone says to you, there's trace elements of urine in our drinking water. It's like, yes, of course there is. It comes from a giant dam. You can't get, there's trace elements of fucking drugs sometimes. Where it's so low concentrations, but it's not.
Unless you live in Tamworth and there's trace elements of shit.
Yeah. Right. Is that? Yeah, maybe that's just Tamworth. But no, that's not fair. I actually kind of like Tamworth. So look, there's trace elements which apparently is big and scary. Yet you can go and buy cigarettes on every street corner, and they don't seem as scared about that anymore. And the weird thing is that Hunt and the TJ and all these health bureaucrats are claiming that we need to stop this because nicotine's terrifying and it's going to turn a bunch of kids into smokers. But then they're also turning around and saying, also, though, if we legislate vaping products, we only really recommend that you get tobacco flavors. So it's like, yeah, exactly. And then when you look at the actual reports, I sent you a 7 News report. I don't know if you can you play that or play part of it?
Yeah, I can play part of it. I can play the whole thing. All right, let me share my screen. Hey, Jamie, can you bring that up, Jamie? Jamie, can you bring that
up? Jamie's just your baby. Just.
All right, let's have a look.
Oh, wow, what a blazer.
I know. What a facial expression, too.
That's the face you make when you find trace elements of nicotine.
That's the face you make when you're reading off a teleprompter mid-fart.
I hope they don't hear this one.
All right, let's have a listen.
An alarming number of toxic and harmful chemicals have been discovered in dozens of e-cigarettes available over the counter here in Australia. The Perth research is prompting calls for a crackdown on vaping devices with concerns about the long-term impacts on teenagers. Jackie Robson reports.
They're the sweet-smelling alternative to cigarettes, often touted as being safer.
That looks like a green screen, eh? It looks like a brand power commercial.
That guy in the back, I reckon his idea of fun is to just like rearrange colored blocks in ascending and descending. Sorry. Anyway, so I felt like bullying someone for a bit, so we'll just do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what is that? Why you wanted to pause to bully the guy?
No, I just wanted to pause just to bully that guy. We can keep going.
Okay. Sorry,
we'll get to the bit that I wanted to show.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going then. Oh, whoa, you're tiny. What's it like being down there?
Hey.
What have I done? How come I can't? Oh, whoa. All right, here we go. Professional.
But Perth researchers have found toxic and harmful chemicals in dozens of e-cigarettes readily available over the counter or online. It's the most comprehensive Australian study into what's in vaping liquids. 6 products labelled as not containing nicotine.
So those bottles there, those are the bottles that this bloke is apparently testing. And they're saying like about Australian, manufactured juices. Let's just have a look. 2 of them have the Made in USA flag on them. Now maybe they just use these bottles as like a little prop for the media. But I'm just suggesting that Made in USA may mean that it wasn't made in Australia.
Most Americans think Australia is just another state of the USA, though. And it's like, that is so wrong. We are definitely a state of China.
My dad grew up in Tassie, and he's part of a rowing team. He went over to America for some rowing comp, and he had like 3 different people ask him what part of Africa Tasmania was from because they thought it was Tanzania.
It's just so good.
Yeah. But back to the matter at hand. So we're looking at least 2 juices that are made in USA. I think the one in the middle, Black Vapors or Back Vape or something like that, is also made in the USA. But the main thing is one of those vape juices as well hasn't been manufactured for more than 3 years. So if they're testing these liquids, it's like it'd be the equivalent of like, I don't know, New South Wales Food Authority finding a foot-long sub that's been sitting behind a crackhead's couch for 2 years and then going, fuck, this one's got a little bit of mold on it. It's not very good.
Yeah.
Somehow, like a cameraman at Channel 7 News has zoomed in on that and been like, oh yeah, made in USA, Australian vape juices. And it just completely passes and gets pushed with no further review or anything like that. And then when you even go down into the data, even if they are manufactured here, the elements are in such concentrations that you can't even fucking have any effects.
Yeah.
It's just nuts.
That's so nuts. So nuts. Should we keep pressing through? Is there any more gems of wisdom from?
Look, I couldn't watch the whole thing, so maybe we'll just keep pressing through. I stopped at the guy hunched over, looking like he wanted to rearrange colored blocks.
Yeah, we're force feeding people 7 News, mainstream news.
Yeah, that's eat
it.
You go.
Smoke this. Kids, you want to get high? Why don't you get high on the mainstream media?
Why don't we send an invoice to Channel 7 News for extra views?
Yeah, 100%. This is like the media bargaining code 2.0. Every time we show a 7 News clip, they have to pay us for it. You know?
Absolutely.
That's how it works, right? That's insane. That's so insane. But yeah, but vaping's dangerous for you, right? You can it can turn children into addicts, right? Isn't that?
Well, it can keep people away from cigarettes, and we can't have that because, look, I think as rough ballpark stats, a smoker costs the healthcare system, like smokers cost the healthcare system a few $1 billion a year, but they generate, over 15, close to $20 billion a year in tax. So they're really subsidizing the healthcare system and subsidizing other people. So for non-smokers and for health people out there, you should probably thank a smoker for existing because, like, mate, every time they have a dart, they're doing the country a service.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's why I always speed on the highway.
Smokers are heroes.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through Greg Hunt's Twitter feed because he wrote, I don't follow him, but like someone had shared, one of his stupid statuses, and he was talking about deregulating the medical sector or something. I can't find it now. He might have deleted it after I called him out on it.
That's it.
He might have. I think he's deleted
it. Smacked up the health minister.
I'm wondering why ScoMo hasn't responded to my video yet. It's got about 500,000 views. He's tagged in it. I'm waiting for him to call. But yeah, he's just a no-show. And then he calls people cowards that, use aliases on Facebook. But
people with fake aliases on Facebook are always the funniest.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're cowards, but they're funny cowards.
Yeah. Yeah, and what's wrong with being a coward? As long as you don't punch anyone.
Yeah, as long as it's not a coward punch.
Yeah,
it's just like a coward meme.
Yeah, like they took cowards off the streets of King's Cross, but now they're trying to take them off the internet. I just think we need to draw the line somewhere.
Fuck's sake. What was Greg saying in this tweet?
He was saying, I'm sure he's deleted it, but he was saying that look, every single tweet he's done is about vaccines now, isn't it? I can't even find it. But he was talking about, I think it was drug reform. Might have been drug reform. He was saying, yeah, we need to have an honest look at drug reform and marijuana and stuff like that. And I just said, yeah, funny from the guy who like banned nicotine multiple times.
Yeah, like they talk out like they're fucking snakes, man. They talk out two sides of their mouth. So they sit there and they talk about like, oh, well, we can't allow vaping because it's untested and we don't know long-term effects. It's like, okay, fine, let's just grant that argument. But you allow any other kind of product that is untested and we don't know long-term effects, and you work towards those things because they just so happen to be manufactured by companies that donate a lot of money to certain political parties. Yet vaping just gets completely cast aside. And I think a lot of policymakers view vaping as a real fringe issue, and certainly a few years ago it was. But there's more than 500,000 vapers now in the country, and they're pretty motivated. I mean, you look at the comments through here; people are pretty geared up all the time. And if you ask them now if they vote the Liberals out at the next election because of their vaping fuck ups, I think you get hundreds of yeses. And these are and most people are not. Most of the guys that support our organisation, they're not super politically engaged, right? Like they don't have a party affiliation. They're not a paid up member of a party because they have real lives and families and stuff to tend to. So they're not losers like us. But but if you ask them now, like, hey, who are you going to vote for in the election next year? The majority of responses I get is anyone but the Liberals. Like, fuck it, they'll even vote. A lot of them will even vote for Labor, even though Labor opposes vaping because, like,
reasons.
Well, what's the point, right? Like, what's the point in supporting the government that continually fucks them?
Yeah. It's like we're in an abusive relationship.
Yeah. When it comes to violence against vapers, Australia should say no.
Yeah, but that's not true, is it? Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know. Someone wants the deactivist party. Maybe that'd be a good party. I was wondering. I wanted to pick your brain about something actually, as someone who's in the know. A lot of my friends have messaged me saying, "Hey, I joined Clive Palmer's party. What's it called? Australia First or whatever.
United Australians or whatever.
United Australia. Yeah.
It's the Craig Kelly party paid for by Clive
Palmer. Yeah, the Craig Kelly party, right? Because Craig Kelly's got that, he's very strong on anti-lockdowns, and he's quite a good public speaker, right? Lib Dems are strong on anti-lockdown as well. Here's the question: with the preferential voting system, where do each vote go? Do you know this? And should the Lib Dems divert their preference to Clive Palmer's party or vice versa? Because is this not just divide and conquer with all these minor parties? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
what's the thought?
Geez, how long's a ball of string? It gets pretty complicated. Look, we're going to bore a lot of people, but at a federal level, Malcolm Turnbull in 2016 changed sort of Senate voting reform so that preference deals are harder to do and you need a higher vote and all that kind of stuff. Right. But basically, minor parties on vaping, for instance, I know UAP support vaping, LDP support vaping. A lot of the minor parties do. Science Party do. Even some left-wing parties. Mate, the Communist Party of Australia put out a media release after October 1st being like, oh, this is a bit communist. A little bit too communist for me. And I think you can preference a party without necessarily supporting every single policy, right? So consistently, the Liberal Democrats, who are strong advocates on vaping, will find that the Liberal Party tries to completely ruin them, force them to change their name, won't preference them, will preference the Greens above, LDP or preference parties that they just completely disagree with, because in their mind, they just want to try and bury any minor party threats that would take their votes. So I think minor parties should work together and always try and figure out some kind of preference deal to get a leg up. And I think party members need to get over it and realize that politics isn't pure and it is a little bit dirty. And
a little bit dirty. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Politics is a wee bit dirty,
Yeah, just a little bit. And yeah, sometimes political parties that you dislike are going to work with a party that you do like. But there's probably a long-term goal there, which is, well, we all agree on this one policy and we want to get that through. And if we can get that through, we'll put our differences aside for now until the election. And then, mate, after the election, everyone can go back to stabbing each other.
Yeah, think of it as like, watching a three-way. You might not find all of them attractive, but together, it's quite entertaining.
Yeah.
All guys. Did you want to look at this TGA regulation? Because we talked about this last time, but we weren't streaming to the vaping page.
Yeah, we spoke about this last time.
Do you want to give a little intro to this before I bring up the website?
Yeah. So as part of the TGA's regulatory changes to make vaping a prescription product, which in and of itself is fucking insane, they've also put out a whole bunch of guidelines on promotion and advertising of nicotine vaping products. But they've included a couple of lines in there that we think are quite deliberately included to try and shut down certain advocacy organizations from making claims that are completely backed by peer-reviewed data, that is claims such as vaping is 95% less harmful than smoking, according to Public Health England. Vaping is less harmful than smoking, full stop. We just know that for a fact. Vaping can help you quit smoking. It's not the be-all and end-all. Some people, vaping doesn't even work. But, it can help you. The latest edicts from the TGA, who, I'll remind people, are unelected. You can't elect the head of the TGA or people that work there. It's just an unelected bureaucracy, have made this determination, and they can potentially fine organizations for not abiding by them. So our website at the moment has peer-reviewed studies. They have all kinds of information that shows that vaping is less harmful, helps people quit, doesn't have as many harmful chemicals as cigarettes and all that kind of stuff. All of that technically could be an invalid promotion that we could get fined for. We're not going to comply. As I said last week, TGA can go fuck themselves. But what are they going to do? Fucking sue me and take my my case of beers, go for it. I've got $9 in my bank account and a case of beers. Fucking take me on. I don't care. So, look, I'll let you show some of the wording.
I was just thinking, like, you work for a taxation advocacy, but like you don't even get taxed on your $9. You're so selfless. You're a selfless guy.
I'm so selfless. Yeah, well, I think people always think that if you run like some advocacy organization, you must be rolling in it, and it's like, mate, I'll shop at Aldi.
I'm rolling in debt, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm rolling in dodging phone calls from fucking Westpac.
All right, so this is stipulating what you're not allowed to do when it comes to advertising vape products, right?
Yep.
Oops, sorry about that.
Cool.
There we go. They're all on the screen now.
So we can't use radio or television, English, Brian. Which, okay, fine. We can't advertise the products on radio and television. That's always been the case. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how like vaping has no real adverse reactions? Like really, when you look at the data and you break it down, it doesn't have many real adverse reactions.
Alcohol's got more adverse reactions.
Well, and you're free to advertise that pretty much everywhere. And I was just thinking of Carl Sanderland's little song and dance about getting jabbed. I was like, look, it's everyone's choice what they want to do, but I mean, shoving that propaganda down your throat when there are clear adverse reactions to certain demographics of the population who have, certain health issues that don't act kindly to this new tech. I mean, shouldn't we have some more caution there? But that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, they pick and choose, right? So, like, I'm totally fine with alcohol advertisements existing. I'm an adult. I can pick and choose what I, want to buy and stuff. And, we have parents and guardians for a goddamn reason to protect children. Yeah. But the thing disappeared. Yeah,
it disappeared because I was listening to you.
I'm not saying anything that interesting. It's just
I'll tell you, I want to add to your little advertising argument, right? They think that advertising is going to make people, the theory is advertising makes people buy things that they wouldn't normally buy. And I always say, well, when I was a young lad going through puberty and I was quite hormonal, I used to love tampon commercials because there was hot girls in bikinis running around. Never made me want to buy a tampon. I'm not in that product category.
That's true.
Right?
There's always like some hot looking French bird in like a perfume ad, but I don't need to smell like potpourri.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I'm happy to smell like BO and self-loathing. That's a.
That's great. So you can't advertise on radio. All right, fair enough. That seems fair. Okay, what's the next one?
Can't promote on websites, which. Now we've had shops that have fallen afoul of this already. So there's shops in Australia that under Australian law, if you're a vape shop, you can't sell nicotine products. Pharmacies can now, but vape shops can't. Right. So there's vape shops in Australia that literally have on their website, they say like, please be aware we do not sell nicotine vaping products. They're letting their customers know that they don't break the law and that they're law-abiding shop owners. And the TGA has contacted them to say, your website references nicotine, you have to get rid of it. And it's like, well, no, I'm referencing that I'm not breaking the law. So apparently, can't tell people that you're not doing illegal things.
I'm not allowed to tell you about the things I'm not allowed to do. It's so messed up. So you can't, vaping can't be promoted by social media influencers or brand ambassadors.
Yeah, I don't know what a brand ambassador is. I mean, I guess I'm a brand ambassador. For anyone watching, we do have some leftover legalized vaping juices. It's a great brand, and I am the ambassador for said brand. If you'd like to purchase some, you're more than welcome to. You can go to vapeforce1.com.au, and it's a wide range of flavors made by the Australian vaping industry.
Someone's asking, speaking of you being a brand, how long till we dump the Blow 427?
427. Well, Ado, if people would like to set up a GoFundMe for Brian wants to hoon around, until then, Nah, man, 2021's been rough, man. Like, for everyone financially. Like,
yeah.
The only good thing about that old Merc is that like it's increasing in value. So like if shit hits the fan, I can just sell it and have a bit of a buffer. But like, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I wanted to like liquidate some of the crap in my house, right? Just sell some of the stuff. But then I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this useless money? It's not going to be worth anything. So now I've justified being a hoarder, but that's a different story.
Maybe that's just your dad brain kicking in.
Yeah, maybe. I did notice, like, as soon as my wife became pregnant, I started wearing running shoes with jeans, like, just automatically. Yeah, it just happened. Never done it in my life before. And
it wasn't like a conscious decision.
No, it just happened. Like, they were at the door, and I'm like, you know what? I want to be comfortable. And that's how it happens. That's the first step to becoming whatever it is I am now. All right, so you can't promote it on social media. You can't promote through social media platforms using paid promotion.
Yeah, so that would be advertising. Okay, like we can debate the advertising issues, but whatever.
My I made a video. I don't know if you've seen it, where I dressed up as Caitlyn Jenner and did her campaign video, and the slogan was "We don't need another dick," and like being Gavin Newsom. And I tried to promote it, and Google was like, "No, you're not allowed to do political campaign advertising." And I'm like, I'm not actually Caitlyn Jenner. Like, this is a parody. Anyway, so you can't promote it through social media. You can't have any pictorial representations of nicotine vaping products.
Yeah. So like, let's say someone runs a vape shop and maybe they've got a blog on a lot of vape shops have frequently asked questions because there's a lot of people that are curious about vaping. They want to know what the go is. So they can't even have like a pictorial representation that's like, oh, here's what it looks like.
Yeah. So do you reckon we should call the TGA on Channel 7 for showing us those 3-year-old vaping products?
Let's just report Channel 7 for breaching the TGA's own codes.
I mean, that was like a advertorial. Like, I feel like vaping after watching their footage.
Yeah, I want to vape that 3-year-old bin juice. That's
what flavor is it? It's ibis flavored. You can't have trade names, trademarks, logos related to the nicotine vaping products. You can't reference flavors.
Yeah,
no flavors.
Yeah, so I mean, we sort of did the skit of this last week, but basically it'd be the case of like, hi, we sell products. Oh, what are they? Products. What's the difference between your multiple products? Oh, they've got a different mouthness.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean flavors? No, I can't say flavors.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they have. Yeah, you can smell them on your tongue. Statements or the implication that vaping is not harmful or is less harmful than smoking. Isn't that true though?
Yeah. So this is the thing that kills me. So one, no credible vaping advocate is saying vaping is not harmful. Vape shop owners don't even say vaping is not harmful. So that's a straw man right there. They're like, it's like, oh, you're not allowed to make a claim that vaping, makes you stronger. Like no one's saying that. And then you're not allowed to make a claim that it's less harmful than smoking. It's just an established fact that it is. There's not a single anti-vaping advocate in Australia that's credible that disagrees that vaping is less harmful. They disagree to what rate it's less harmful. So they're not convinced by 95%. But even in Senate inquiries, the fucking TGA agreed that it's less harmful than smoking. So like the TGA is breaking their own guideline. And reading this, I potentially can't say any of the things that we have on our website right now.
Yeah.
Even though it's fact. It is a fact that vaping is less harmful.
Yeah.
And I just, vapors probably will find this frustrating because it's just yet another attack on vapors. But broadly, like, are we okay living in a country where literally unelected individuals can just make a determination and you have to comply with it? You have no power to get rid of them. You can't vote them out of the next election. And if you don't comply with it, even no matter how nonsensical it is, they can fine you and potentially shut down your business and just bankrupt you and cripple you.
Yeah. I think I asked this last time. Who kind of appoints the head of the TGA? Is it's federal. So is that ScoMo? Does he choose the head of the TGA, or is it just its own body that was set up?
And it's just I think the department itself can basically go through their own hiring and review process.
Yeah,
I'm not sure as to who can pick the head. I'm sure the Prime Minister has the power to go, oh, John Skerritt, there's the door. But for the most part, they act quite independently. So the department goes, oh, I want to put this guy as the head. Scott Morrison's not paying attention to who the head of the TGA is. He's cooking curries at home or something. Well, that's what his social media says. He's like, oh, I made another Vindaloo. It's like, okay.
Oh, my goodness. Did he? Oh, that's so cringe.
Yeah, relatable.
Oh. Look at me, Australia. I'm multicultural. I cooked a Vindaloo. And you can see the Uber Eats packet in the background.
The Uber Eats and the barely financially secure fucking, immigrant worker getting sent out by security.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how Uber Eats drivers were somehow immune to the Rona, and they were just free to deliver our food? And it's like, hang on, this kind of defeats the purpose of people staying at home if they're ordering someone to get their food. Go get that slave. Go get me my Big Mac.
Yeah, where's my $4? Where's my $4 road slave?
Isn't that clever how they put the monopoly deals just as we're on the cusp of summer, and you're just you know what? I'm going to get healthy. And then you're like, actually, I want to win some jet skis. So better buy
the thing with Uber Eats during COVID as well, I was talking to a couple of the delivery guys when they came around to drop food off. And Uber Eats gives you the option to give them a tip. So they were saying to me that the tip doesn't necessarily always come through with the same transaction for when they do a delivery. So sometimes the tip will be held for a while and then come later, which is fuck's sake. They don't have a lot of money, so it already screws their cash flow. So I don't know, if you get an Uber Eats driver late at night, maybe just give them a cash tip. Keeps the government out too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. They're not allowed to ask for it, but I bet you they'll take it.
But that's kind of like vape shops. They're not vape shop owners not allowed to ask you what you're looking for.
Yeah. I kind of like tipping culture. I think it's cool. I mean, people get annoyed at it, but it's all you need to have is a couple of dollars in your pocket. And that's it.
But what were you going to do with that $2 anyway?
Yeah, I know.
Lose it in the couch.
Yeah. Buy some outlawed Redskins.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to contain statements or the implication that stocked nicotine vaping products is superior to another.
So that's what I love. If someone was like, "Hey, is this juice that was made in a proper hermetically sealed lab better than that one some guy made at his bathtub?" Fuck, I don't know, mate. I can't tell you that.
Is this 3-year-old Ibis flavor one better than why would they bother testing them on Channel 7's little report if you're not even allowed to tell people which one's the healthy one and which one's got traces of...
This is the thing. Royal Australian College of General Practitioners put out something essentially recommending that pharmacists only stock tobacco flavored vape products. So they're in that implying that those are the superior products because of whatever reason. So okay, can the TGA please start finding GPs for advising customers what's a better product? Where do you draw the line, right? So they're allowed to do it because they're a GP, but I'm not allowed to make statements of basic fact.
Yeah.
A vape shop owner who's been in the industry for better part of 10 years and knows it back to front isn't allowed to educate their customer so that their customer doesn't buy the wrong product.
Yeah. It's like saying if someone was about to jump off a building, you're like, hang on, if you jump, gravity's going to kill you. And then someone pulls you aside and says, hey, hang on, you know what? You're not a physicist, so you can't say that. might be true. You're not allowed to say that, Brian.
You're I literally have all the reports here. And it's like, yeah, but you.
Yeah. You're not an expert. You don't know things.
Yeah, exactly. Did you even go to Harvard?
Yeah. Do you even have a documentary made about you on Disney Plus? Oh man, I actually want to watch that Fauci documentary. I'm keen to watch it.
I haven't even seen, mate. I've become so you were talking about you started wearing runners with jeans. I think when I hit 31, I was really technologically savvy. I could like hook stuff up. We'd get like, mate, I can't even keep my Netflix fucking subscription sorted. I forget the password.
Yeah.
And then I just give up on life. So people are like, oh, have you seen the latest episode of? No.
Yeah.
I don't know where I put my keys.
I bought a router because I wanted like my internet to be more secure, and it came like next day Amazon. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then I get it and I'm like looking at it like, you know, like Ben Stiller looking at the computer in Zoolander, like, how does this work? And I'm just like plugging the wires in and I'm like, am I secure now? Is this what it is? Does it go in front of the modem behind? I don't know what I was doing. It took me so long.
Yeah. So I've just become like boomer skeptical as well. So like if someone can't explain it to me in like 30 seconds, I just assume people are lying. So they'll be like, oh, you need to get the new thing to protect your computers. Like, how does it work? And if the first thing starts with I'm like, I'm out. I just fine. I'm just gonna post my credit card details online. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, that's right. They can go hammy on your $7. So include incentives to encourage a user to take up nicotine vape. So no incentives.
Yeah, so I can't say to someone like, hey, if you're struggling to quit smoking, you should consider taking up nicotine vaping, because in the UK, like, again, just run through some stats. In the UK, 20,000 people quit per year purely due to vaping. That's a reported fact. New Zealand Public Health Department credits vaping with reducing smoking rates. So we clearly know that it helps. To what extent it helps, we don't have exact data, but we can say factually, hey, vaping helps you quit smoking. So if you're struggling to quit, maybe you should consider taking up nicotine vaping. But according to the TGA, that would be illegal.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Yeah. So, and I'm not allowed to make any of those claims because that's all peer-reviewed stuff. But Quit Victoria can tell people to move their furniture around and drink warm milk. And totally fucking fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rehash it, but like I've had that rant multiple times, but it just kills me.
Yeah. Have a warm bath if you feel like smoking.
Yeah. Sing a song, which you probably won't be able to do if you're a heavy smoker, but you know.
Yeah. Go out and see some friends. That's illegal.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you again, like I told you before the stream, but I might just tell people because it'll be interesting for people in the stream. I'll tell you two things actually. So 2 days ago, I got up and just pulled my neck. Like it was just like full on stuff. So I've got the mobility of like George Clooney in Batman. Like I was wearing a suit. Like I can't really turn too much. So I went to book in like, you know, the local physio or whatever, the chiro, deep tissue. I'm like, I'm just going to get everything. And my wife calls up and they're like, yeah, so he would have to bring along his proof of vaccination. I'm like, oh, okay. So, all right. So, well, we don't have that. And then today we went to Subway, which I've been going to pretty much every week, my local Subway, every week just to get a foot long. And they said, hey, before we serve you and make your sandwich, we need to see your proof of vaccination. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't have that. So I ended up getting KFC, the healthy choice, because drive-through, they don't ask for that.
So that's probably a perfect example, right? It's like, mate, look, if a business wants to mandate vaccinations for customers, I don't really care, right? I don't care if the local cafe that won't let you in because they don't like the color of your shoes. Fine.
Yeah.
It's their business. But most business owners I talk to, like, it's just another burden for them. Like, what they're going to have to get their staff to turn people away, potentially get into arguments and like face risks because the government wants to push things. And it's a perfect example of like potentially negative public health outcomes, right? So it's like, look, vaccination rates are going up. I think we're at nearly 80% in New South Wales. I think we're at the point now where we're exceeding most of the Western world in terms of vaccination rates. So we're doing all right. But there's negative impacts that come with things. Like if you're going to restrict people from accessing vapes, we know a bunch of them are going to go back to smoking. And these health bureaucrats, again, they talk out two sides of their mouth. So they say, oh, we want to get people off cigarettes. We absolutely have to. Yet when you present them data that shows that what they're doing doesn't work, they just try and shut you down and ban you from fucking saying words on the internet.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't care what your position is on any of those issues. But at the very least, can we all accept that unelected bureaucrats shouldn't be able to just make determinations that we can't overturn? Like,
yeah,
what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it is. So when they want you to smoke tobacco flavors, is there tobacco in them, or and are they taxed differently? Because the tax on cigarettes is on the tobacco, right?
Yeah. Well, I should have raised this with you before. This is hilarious. So most nicotine liquids are derived from some kind of tobacco plant in order to get the nicotine. There's salt-based nicotine, there's free-based nicotine, but that's my understanding. I'm sure there's going to be some vape shop owner who produces juices who's screaming because I didn't include some technical method. Tobacco flavors, all kinds of juice manufacturers make tobacco flavors, but tobacco companies also make tobacco flavors because they're easy to make. They know how to get the flavor right, and they figure that someone will probably take that up relatively easily. So I personally don't give a shit if tobacco companies want to produce vapes. I think it's a good thing. Anytime Philip Morris sells a vape, that's a pack of cigarettes they're not selling. Anytime BAT sells a vape, that's a pack of cigarettes they're not selling. So I don't care if tobacco companies fucking make money. Politicians seem to care, but I don't give a shit. But it's fucking rich for a health bureaucrat to say that their entire fight against vaping is to fight big tobacco while literally creating regulations that only big tobacco and big pharma can get through, while independent, individually owned, family-run businesses get fucking annihilated. Just don't lie to me. If they just came out and they said, we don't trust small businesses to make this properly and big multinational corporations can, build it in a fucking Iron Man lab, well, fuck, at least I know, at least you're being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I disagree with you, but at least you're being honest. But it's two-faced.
Yeah.
And most vapors don't like tobacco. Like, this is one of the things I've always tried to argue when they say, "Oh, won't vaping lead to smoking?" It's like, you can get vapes that taste like fucking sherbet and like strawberry shortcake and like glazed donuts, and like they literally taste like it, fucking caramel popcorn. It's amazing.
Yeah.
What idiot's going to be like, fuck, I really like this caramel popcorn flavor. What I want though is something that tastes like bushfires and ass. Just at a basic fucking level, it doesn't make any sense. But they propagate this. Journalists just fucking write it, don't question it, just punch it out. It's psychotic.
Yeah.
But on the tax issue, this is where it's just like nuts. So the TGA have made the determination that vaping with nicotine is a medicinal product. So you can go and get a prescription for that medicinal product, and then you can theoretically go to a pharmacist and get it, or you can import it from overseas as long as you've got a script. Medicinal products, prescription medicinal products, do not attract excise. So you can't charge GST and you can't charge an import duty, right?
Yeah.
The existing vaping products that don't have nicotine that Australian vape shops sell, so all the stuff that doesn't have nicotine, all the flavors, all those sorts of things, they're now considered a consumer product, just like anything that you buy at a convenience store. Well, they're going to face a 5% customs tariff when you bring stuff across the border. So a vape shop imports, 10 grand worth of gear, well, they're going to have to pay 5% excise. So the federal government is taxing the non-addictive version that is less harmful than smoking and giving a tax carve-out for the nicotine version that for the last 3 or 4 years they've said is bad because it's addictive.
Right.
So, it gets a tax cut, and all the stuff made by small manufacturers, they get taxed. And, mate, talk to a vape shop owner, ask them what their margins are. They're fucking struggling. Everyone's struggling right now.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. The whole argument that vaping can lead to smoking is so ridiculous. It's like saying drinking Coca-Cola can lead you to drinking to beer. And it's like, these things are not the same.
Yeah.
They don't taste the same. They don't have the same effect. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the only thing that's common between them is like they're both a liquid and you drink them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. I think that's all the things you're not allowed to do. You know, you're not allowed to do any of these things.
Not allowed to like tell people that vaping is less harmful. Not allowed to suggest that maybe they quit smoking and try vaping. Not allowed to show them what it looks like. Just just nuts.
Just nuts. So nuts.
And the TGA's argument is, oh well, we're treating it as a tobacco product. It's like, okay, but it doesn't have tobacco in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
yeah. I'm treating you like as a criminal. Why? I'm not a criminal. Yeah, but you're a person, and most criminals are people. So,
yeah, we looked at the data, and 100% of people in jails are human.
Yeah,
so
not all humans are criminals, but all criminals are humans. So
therefore, the same. Fuck it. Actually, look, a bit of a tangent. Totally not vaping related. You see, over in WA, they've made it illegal to have like any potential gang tattoos show visible.
Oh, is this another one of those bikey
Yeah, it's like one of the bikey things. It's like, whatever, man. Like, cops should do their jobs and arrest criminals for doing crimes. Right, fine. But like, someone can't have a tattoo.
Yeah.
And if they walk outside and the tattoo is visible, you get to arrest them and charge them with what?
Yeah. We should all get tattoos of QR codes. And be like, if I'm going into your shop, you have to check in to my body. It'd be a good culture thing if everyone has a QR code on their chest. So then it's like, you scan my code, and when I give you permission, you can make out with me. But if you don't do that, I'm gonna Me Too your ass back to Africa. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't believe that. Like, I remember when those laws came out in Queensland about like not serving bikies and stuff, and like at the time I had hair down to my almost my ankles, not that far, but like a mad undercut, and I was on a regime of wait 6 times a day and 10 meals a day, and like if I wore a leather jacket and went into a pub in Queensland, I probably wouldn't get served. I mean, granted, I don't have tattoos, but like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like, why can't regulators and law enforcers just do the jobs with the tool? Like, does anyone really believe that cops don't have enough powers to do their jobs? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're seeing it in vaping. So we're giving AFP new powers to like stop and seize nicotine imports, and it's like, okay, so the fucking bloke who's meant to stop like illicit substances and potential weapons and I don't know, bombs like coming into the country and stuff, maybe anthrax or whatever, we're now going to get him fucking scanning boxes to make sure that Kate's not getting her mango missed.
Yeah.
Oh, you disappeared. You're gone.
No, this is my black square for BLM or something. Oh, there we go. I'm back. I don't know what happened then. I think my camera just went into standby. I've got to be scared.
Doesn't like it.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes I forget to turn it off after streams. Oh, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, you know what it is?
What?
It's I don't think it's turned on at all. No, it's not turned on, so it's out of battery, which is actually a good thing because I didn't want to buy a new camera. I'll just put on my Mac camera. Here we go. Look at that.
Oh,
look how disgusting that looks. This looks like a license photo now, the quality.
It does.
I've broken the illusion.
You have to have that look like you're ready to kill the person behind the camera. It's like every license photo is like...
And then you have to pull that face at the airport, and they think you're just an angry guy. It's like, no, I just want to make sure it's me.
Yeah. Well, this is
we've been yapping on for an hour, and the only Facebook comment we got last time because we weren't streaming was, who would watch this for an hour? Well, 44 of you losers. I'm kidding. Thanks, guys, for watching. Is there anything you want to tell the lovely people before we wrap up? We can talk because we're going to be talking every week, do a weekly wrap up of news and views and vaping stuff and crazy government regulations.
Look, people, I know that a lot of people have managed to get a prescription. Vapers are really switched on people. They work with each other and help each other. sort things out. So a lot of vapors within the vaping community have been able to go and get a prescription, but I'm still getting emailed predominantly from older vapors who are struggling because their local GP won't give them a script. So if you know someone like that, I think it's your moral duty to help them go and get a prescription and be able to import their nicotine liquids. You know, the prescription model needs to die in a fucking fire, but we also need to make sure that people can still access their products. Nick did make a good comment in the comments. He said the whole freedom of speech thing that libs have seems limited to their freedom of speech, which is like absolutely true, right? Like we've got ScoMo wanting to create like an online bullying thing and just like turn off the screen.
Because people, you know, Brian, I know that you've gone, but I've just put you to the side for a second because we have this pre-recorded message from Scott Morrison. He says that, you know, people who online bully are cowards. And, you know, if they keep at it, I'm just going to treat them how I treated the toilet seat in Engadine. And I will not hold back, I tells you. Thank you, ScoMo, for that.
I will shit hellfire all over your rights. Just
100%. They don't care about freedom of speech. They really don't. I mean, we knew that from like I'm quite young. Well, I think I'm young, but I remember when Grand Theft Auto came out and all the conservatives were like, "This is horrible," and it's like, really,
mate.
Anyway.
Conservatives are just like communists, like a few years behind, like, and just in a weird way. Like, I've ranted about this before, so vapes will not be tired about hearing about it. But you know, I'm a fucking 30-year-old boomer metalhead, and in the 80s, there was this group set up by a whole bunch of like conservative wives called the PMRC over in America, and their whole
exactly
thing,
what you're talking about. It was Al Gore's wife.
Yeah, Al Gore's wife, but then like George Bush's wife, like George Senior's wife, and all that, like all these just like people that reach for the smelling salts as soon as someone like has hair that goes beyond here. And they wanted to basically ban metal music. Well, these people didn't go away. They didn't. It's not like fucking D. Snyder defeated them and then like they just, went into their fucking caves. They started focusing on other things.
Yeah.
So you can't say mean words on the internet because someone somewhere might get upset. Now, look, if someone's being mean to you, just fucking smack them back.
Yeah, it's called a block button.
Just block them. But
just click
outside of that, though, it then transcends into you can't tell someone that vaping helps them quit. You can't sell your wares. I mean, vape shops are not allowed to engage with customers technically. You walk into a vape shop, they're meant to just sit there like a fucking stunned mullet until you suggest the product that you want.
Yeah.
Vapors know all too well. They've got to go and, you know, if they want to vape outside, more often than not, they've got to go into those weird cages that are like smoking areas.
Yeah.
Those same people that tried to ban metal in the 80s, they didn't get defeated and then, like, you know, scurry away into their little fucking swamps or whatever the hell they live in. They focused on something else. They're psychotic. Yet they claim that they support freedom of speech because, I don't know, they want to keep referring to people as darkies or something. Like, I just... no, seriously, right? Like, talk to a conservative, right? They've got an issue because, like... someone will say to them, hey, maybe you shouldn't like refer to like, you know, Asian people as Orientals, right? And it's like, look, if you want to do that and be a fucking idiot, I'm not going to get the government to stop you from doing it, but maybe don't do that. And they'll like clutch at their pearls and talk about free speech and how it's their God-given right to, you know, say all those sorts of things. But then they'll turn around in the same breath and say, oh, but, you know, Slayer, got to get rid of that band.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, they banned Cannibal Corpse coming in. I remember that one vividly. Oh, they even banned Eminem at one point. They were like, no, Eminem can't come into the country.
Well,
like, yeah, but you know that they banned well, they came in.
Yeah, but you know Gore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the guys from Gore runs a vape shop in Australia.
What?
Yeah. I'll intro you. He's a fucking legend.
Yes, please. That's mad.
Yeah. And I remember I went to Soundwave and Gore had this fucking epic stage show where the royal baby had just been born.
Yeah. I was there, bro.
Yeah. So they swung the royal baby by the fucking umbilical cord. Were you there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was sick.
It was mad.
And then like Tony Abbott, who was like Mr. Free Speech, was like, "Oh, no, can't have this.
Yeah.
Fuck him off."
Yeah.
Well,
But they do
these
that
same
everywhere
Legos
they
ones-
go. They have an effigy of the ruling class, and then they just like cut their head off, and you
Yeah.
know.
And then the ruling
that's what
class
they do.
naturally turn around and say, "Oh, we need to shut you down."
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
one of the key takeaways from this is I don't care if you're left wing, right wing, or no wing. I think we should all agree that people like that need to get in the bin and stop telling us how to live our lives and what to do and what we can and can't say and how to quit smoking and how not to quit smoking and all those sorts of things.
100%. Behind you on that, my friend. We should talk about Gore next week, and we can also talk about
let's just see if we can get Steve on. We'll just don't talk to me. Talk to Steve. He's way more entertaining.
Well, we'll have a three-way, just like I mentioned, earlier. There's always one, So there's something I want to talk about next week. I'm going to be making a video about this on my own, but I don't know if you heard this, but the mainstream media have had it tough. They've had it tougher than any of the small businesses, over the past 2 years. The mainstream media have really had it tough. And that's why the government have given them a 100% tax rebate for this year.
Are you serious?
100% that is true. I'll be talking about that on my channel. And if you guys want to head over to my YouTube channel, I'm posting it in the comments right now. Bang, self-promotion, yay. 100% tax rebate for the mainstream media. That's called thank you money. That's called literally.
Like you've had a protection racket for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Easy tax refund.
Yep. That's just saying, yep, thanks guys for doing what we told you to do. That's absolutely ridiculous, hey?
That's nuts.
Like it's beyond belief. I'm also posting, for those who are interested, I'm on Rockfin as well because YouTube has banned my monetization. And if you've been listening so far, you can probably tell why. I don't really have a filter. Hopefully the ATA and legalized vaping don't get their monetization banned as well. But if they do,
no, man, we've been demonetized ages ago.
Oh, really? Okay, well, yeah.
Well, because even though legalized vaping is an advocacy organization, according to YouTube, we promote harmful substances. So, yeah, we can go fuck ourselves, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the same as me. It's harmful content. I'm like, I have no strikes against me. Like, what did I do? Can you tell me specifically? And they're like, harmful content harmful. It is. That's what harmful content. It's just, it's ridiculous. I've been trolling them on Twitter, but, whatever. But it was good to talk to you, man.
Yeah, man. Talk to you next week. Say good day to the mini Randall.
I will. He does like to shit through every single layer of clothing every day, and it's a lot of fun.
He should do a Fauci, and he should triple mask.
Yeah, triple mask his ass. Yeah. All right, brother. I'll catch you later.
Talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone.